Circus parades are always fun, so have one today. Who would you like to be? A lovely white circus pony, prancing and dancing in time to the music? A clown making funny faces as he hobbles along? Or a lion tamer looking brave and strong? Make your choice and be ready. It's time for the circus parade to begin. Lion tamer, looking brave and strong. Circus parades are always fun, so have one today. Who would you...
Good evening, folks. 30 seconds to showtime. Grab your seat, leave your drinks to the bar. Hold your breath, put your hands together. We present Stanford Bay's finest star, who has danced with the Mariner Kitty, who has dined with the Queen of Vermont. We trace the voyages of Sinbad, corresponded with the men who can't do us to tapis. C'est pas la même chose que la vache qui rit. Les vaches font mon ami.
And hello, everybody. Welcome once again to another edition of The G-Spot. My name is Jeff with the G, hence The G-Spot. And today I have a very special guest. It's somebody I met, I guess it's about a month ago, but is an amazing musician who I've really come to really dig their music a whole lot. I have Miss Cherry Delight. How are you doing, Cherry?
Hey, Jeff. How you doing? It's good to see you again.
I know, it's great to see you. Last time I saw you was on the board. It was actually on the boardwalk.
Really fun. I love taking people on the Wonder for the first time. Swinging cars only, though. I just went on again this weekend with a friend who it was her second time on the swinging cars. And I had said, you know, if you just ride the stationary cars on the Wonder Wheel, it would just be a wheel, but it is a wonder wheel. So we gotta rock this boat. And then one of my other friends said this past weekend she tried to do it on the swinging cars, but it was not didn't work out. They tried.
Little too much rocking for them. For that.
Too much rocking. I think that it's also a more intense experience experience when you're two people in the front, because all your weight goes in the front. So the way that because remember we went on with Todd and Carmel.
Yeah.
And they were in the back. So there was a little bit more of a weighted situation. But if you're only two in the front, the way that it rocks is a lot more intense. So, but you and I, we were rocking it more, you and I.
Right. In a completely platonic sort of way. Yes. Just two weirdos living life and loving it. That's it.
Just two weirdos in Coney Island. Just a bunch of weirdos. But there we had a whole group of people that day in Coney.
There was a whole gaggle of freaks. I'm guessing I'm trying to think what would be the best terminology of freaks. Like a clown car of freaks, maybe. I'm trying to think what would be the good grouping name. I'm not sure. And Keita St. Cyr's in the chat. Hey, Keita.
Keita!
Yeah.
Oh, Keita! My precious baby.
Yeah.
She's wherever she is, she's screaming too. I know her.
I'm sure. She's been like really good friend, and like she's also been on this show too, where we just talk about dumb shit for an hour or so. So we're gonna keep doing that. So people are watching the show who may not be aware of who this person is. This is Miss Cherry Delight, who is a shock rock. She uses the term shock rock, which is fair. I mean, it's loud, crazy music with cool visuals, or I like to call everyday music for me. But it's really good. Your first record, "Eat the Evidence," is really good. I really dig it a lot. The Confess track is actually my favorite on the whole
really
thing. Well, you do. There's some really like good because you have a couple different vocal styles throughout that particular song, and what I like the most about that one is because you actually hear that moment of the vibrato and kind of a nice pure singing voice for a few seconds in it too, which I really dug.
Oh, thank you. That's one of my pride anthems, because that's a song about girls breaking into a Catholic church to do it on the altar. And the beginning piano note is a little nod to Nine Inch Nails. Boom.
Yeah.
In the beginning. I'm sure you picked up that little Nine Inch Nails bit in there.
Yeah, it had that kind of that little bit of a little closer moment. Yeah, and no, it's it's the God-given right, as it were, for a bunch of people to break into a church to have their unholy ways with each other. Right? I can really. What else is an altar for but to have sex on it? I mean, really.
Right? I'm just here like holding the little race car flag. On your mark and set. And then I'll play yakety sax in the background.
Yeah, well, your yakety sax. There you go. But yeah, so people, Tinian, underneath you, I actually do have your Instagram handle and the website for people to reach out all the stuff you have going on, because you've been a busy beaver with this whole pandemic, with all your music stuff, which I think is amazing. I'm really happy what people are like who are still making during the pandemic, and so good for you. Yeah.
I was really, really bummed out for a long time. And then I figured out TikTok, and then everything changed. My fan base went like way, way, way up. And I started to find my tribe of people, because I had a small tribe in New York, but now this has gone like international now. This is really exciting. I am getting close to, do I have 82,000 on TikTok now? Something like 82,000, or about to be 82,000. And it's really, really cool. I've made some amazing connections. Tomorrow, I just had a single come out last Friday, and it's been doing really well. and the music video premieres tomorrow in Fangoria.
That,
what is life, Jeff? I don't know.
I don't know that either. That is probably the coolest thing I've heard from somebody that I kind of know have ever happened to them. So, congratulations.
It doesn't feel real yet. It's going to feel real once I actually log on to the website and I'm like, oh, that's me. Wow.
I will be watching it first thing as soon as it becomes available. So, because I love the also, it's another great track that I really dig. So, My Altar is really good. I really like it a lot.
Thank you so much. I really love this track. It's also the first track that I've done that doesn't have a traditional time signature as well. And it is very inspired by the altar that Jeffrey Dahmer was in the process of building out of his victims' bodies, but he never got to finish. And when I read about that in his confession, it just always stayed in my mind, like, wow, what would it have looked like? And he described it. And then it just like, we wrote this song. And I applied it to the Miss Cherry Delight characters mythos. Because with the Dahmer altar, it is a table with 7 skulls on it, 2 victims, full skeletons, and these blue globe lights in front of a black shower curtain where he's sitting in a leather chair. But in the Miss Cherry Delight mythos, she's kind of building not just an altar, but very much like the Bone Church in Prague.
Okay.
But she's building it like in a room. And it started off as like, inspired a lot by that, and also a little bit of Johnny the Homicidal Maniac. I don't know if you know.
Oh, Jonas Vasquez. Yeah, I'm very familiar with the far superior of his works.
I do love Jonan very much, and I grew up on Johnny the Homicidal Maniac. And I guess the parts that apply to Johnny are like the not getting caught, the endless supply of bodies and the not getting caught, I think, applies to the kind of Miss Cherry Delight mythos, because she has a really hard time with abandonment. She wants so deeply to be loved, and she has a really hard time imagining being alone.
Don't we all? You're telling the universal story, just very, very darkly.
Yeah, I think that's why Miss Cherry Delight is this kind of lovable villain protagonist who you can kind of like follow her story and kind of relate to her in ways, except, you know, she kind of takes it a little too far. But that was one of the biggest inspirations. Jeffrey Dahmer's altar that he described in his confession was the inspiration for my altar. And I'm also very proud of my screams in this song. My screams have gotten so much stronger since my first recorded screams in 2018. If you want to laugh, play the 31st next to my altar. They're a lot stronger now. But I have a scream coach. I have a metal scream coach who changed my life and really taught me how to protect my voice when I scream, because as you know, I don't scream any songs all the way through. I only scream sometimes to emphasize a point. But when I scream, I have to do it in a way that I don't destroy my vocal cords, because once I do that, then I can't sing anything. Then it's over. So I don't think that everyone necessarily, I don't know. I can't tell anyone what they need or don't need, but I will strongly suggest like going to a professional to help if you really want to scream. Anyone out there watching this, going to a professional who can teach you how to do it the right way so you can continue to do it and flourish with your voice. Your voice gets stronger, not weaker. That's what I recommend, because then you'll have the longevity of your voice.
That's I'm not sure you're aware of this, probably not. I used to be in the music business, like properly. Like I used to work for a label back in the day. Yeah. And so, yeah, what you're telling is very true. Like when we ever get to the stage of somebody going, all right, cool, great, you guys are signed. Here's a guide for the singer. Here's a guy to help you go long term. Where they go, well, I'd sing all the time, but it's fine. No, yeah, it's and like the people we team up with, like people who are professional, not professional with doing things like learning how to protect your voice in that respect, as far as how to actually do better with your voice to project out this way versus just all this head shit, which is really what burns out your voice quicker than anything. If you scream from your head, you're going to burn everything out. So yes, get professionals, learn how to do it properly. And that goes for anybody, like regardless what thing you're doing, it never hurts to learn from somebody else too.
Yeah, totally. And I mean, it's funny because everyone thinks that you have to be really, to tap into finding your scream, you have to get really upset and you have to get really angry or think of something that makes you upset. It's not true at all. Not at all. In fact, that couldn't be more wrong. Like the most important thing to do when you're screaming is to just completely relax. Like don't even think of anything. There's a real zen to finding your scream. And I found it even more when I stopped trying to sound like every other screamer out there. Because, and also just the individuality of music in general. I don't want to sound like anyone else, whether it's singing or screaming. I don't want to. Those people already exist. If you want them, go find them. If you want me, come to me. Because, I don't want to be like, oh, she screams just like Plasmatics. Oh, she screams just like Jack Off Jill. She screams just like, whoever. I want people to say, you have to listen to her because I have not found anyone who sounds like this. Like, that's much more important to me. I don't want to be a carbon copy of anybody else in sound or look.
And near as I can tell through my weird Rolodex, while there might be there's natural similarities between lots of stuff, that's just how it is. Right. But because we are all collaborative in that respect with entertainment, is kind of, we go, all right, cool. But as far as you're the one who mashes this stuff in such a way that is strictly Miss Cherry Delight, which I really enjoy.
Thanks.
Are you influenced by other people? Of course, we always are. And people who say they aren't influenced by anybody are liars. So, but yeah, no, the record, Eat the Evidence, and the other tracks you've done on the Monster and the new one, My Altar, they are very distinctly, while I may hear some stuff that sounds kind of like some other stuff, but also it sounds kind of like that stuff. It doesn't sound like that stuff. And so that's why I like about it. It's nice and unique and cool. So I dig it. Just everybody right here who's watching, which we have quite a few people watching, so good for you. Thank you for tuning in. Go to your favorite download platform for music. Download Eat the Evidence and My Altar. Like right now, you're on a computer, you can do that two things at once.
I highly recommend Spotify. Spotify is one of the best places to listen to music. I'm also on Amazon, Google Play. If you want to do something fun, ask Alexa for me. The robot knows me. It's cool.
There you go. Yeah.
Alexa, would you please play Miss Cherry Delight? Now, here are songs by Miss Cherry Delight on Amazon Music. It's a really fun thing. I'm never gonna get used to it. Also, Shazam. You can Shazam me if you hold your phone up.
You finally got the Shazam. That's good. Yeah, and you're also on Apple because that's how I access usually most. I do that and Spotify. I do both.
I'm an Apple artist as well. Please subscribe to the Miss Cherry Delight YouTube channel, because then it will tell you when my music video is also going to be on the channel, as well as lots of upcoming things there. YouTube, Spotify are the most important ones. And I would say, the Patreon's really important too.
Of course, yes. Patreon.com/Miss Cherry Delight. Do that.
Miss Cherry Delight official.
Oh, official. Fancy. Just for the record, because somebody put this in the chat, I'm going to do Alexa, play Miss Cherry Delight. We're going to see if somebody else's Alexa will pick it up. Who's watching? Somebody actually says my Alexa didn't hear you, so I'm going to try it. Because it'd be funny. Get somebody's music playing in the background and like when they're watching. So yeah, Miss Sally Cinch, who's an amazing sideshow performer from out of the Baltimore, DC area. So
oh my gosh, Sally!
Yeah.
Hi, Sally! Hey! Sally has known me for a long ass time. My God, she's watched the whole evolution of when I was little baby, like Cherry. Like, what's going on? I kind of have an idea with what I want to do. And then like she watched me go through all of it. It's funny, we were just talking on Facebook the other day about this. It's great.
No, and she says hi back, so there you go. So.
Oh my God. I haven't seen her in a long time in person.
Yeah, that's a lot of people. Like, I haven't seen them in a long time in person. It's just the pandemic.
But also
that's how it works.
Pandemic, and I mean, I'm vaxxed. I'm ready to roll. I already booked my first show, and it's gonna be in Brooklyn at Gold Sound on July 31st. So I am very, very excited to get back on stage again. I can't wait to see my band. I haven't seen my bandmates in so long. I've only seen my producer, and I've seen each of my bandmates one time last year individually for very short periods of time. But I want us to all get dinner, and then I want us to all have a rehearsal day, because I feel like if we just do the rehearsal day, I will at least feel so distracted. Like, oh my God, people, okay, I'm singing now. But I would rather just get it out of the way, do all the huggy, lovey-dovey stuff, and then go in and work. That's what I want to do. I proper love time and then proper work time.
No, makes sense. So yes, so July 31st for the people, because there's people here watching from New York City, because Keita's watching.
July 31st, I haven't even, this is the first time I'm mentioning it now. This is the first time I'm mentioning it now. I leave a little hint on Facebook. I hate Facebook, and I cannot wait for that platform to die. However, so many of my friends are on it, so like I'm so like torn all the time.
I accepted the fact as I go. It's the thing that will always exist, just because it got to that state now. I look at it as like a business thing more. It's like, all right, so usually in my own accountability, I don't pay attention to anybody else. I kind of do, but I just went, here's what I'm doing, here's how I'm feeling, blah. And I'll just let it sit. I'll just let it fly. I don't care what everybody else. I'm more of a writer versus a visual artist, like pictures and stuff. So that's why I'm not huge in like Instagram or TikTok, because I can't think in that moment. But I can write like a motherfucker. But nobody goes to Tumblr. So.
I think it's good. All the social media things, like, they all serve their purpose. And I know people who are like totally off the grid, but like it's really hard when you're a public figure to not have social media when people need to know where to find you and when, and what you're about and how to expand your audience. And I remember before, I remember the beginning of the pandemic, I was crying to a friend of mine on the phone saying, I don't know what I'm going to do now. I've lost my outlet, which is like being in person. And I had no clue what amazing things were going to happen just through the amazing connections I would make on fucking TikTok. Like, what the hell? Like, it happened, and it's my strongest platform to date. And I can't do fake blood on it though, which is hard because that's one of the biggest parts of my identity. And visual aesthetic is the blood. I use so much blood and I can't do it because they'll shadow ban me.
Well, then what you do is you do something that is like blood, but not blood. So you do like weird glitter, or you do like a different color or something like that. So it's just not obviously blood. Maybe they might get away with that. That's how PG-13. That's how PG-13 movies get away with so much violence, is because you don't see blood. They see other things that mimic blood.
That's true. But yes, that's true. That's a good point.
Spew out weird green, test out, do a thing that involves like use like green or something, like a dark green, like a witch green, and use that instead of blood, and see what happens with that one post of something. And if it works well, then keep doing it. If not, then
it's so. The thing is, like with shadow banning, it lasts for like 14 days. So the experimentation, can I even risk an experimentation which may go wrong? I don't know. It is the George Orwell world online. That's the other side, because yes, social media gives you all these great outlets. However, there is so much censorship that it really feels like being in 1984.
Well, it's a bit extreme for that sort of stuff. And Kita says use Pepto-Bismol instead of blood, so it's bright and pink, but still has a thing.
Kita knows me.
She goes, that fits the aesthetic. What you do is you figure out a thing that makes that work, where it doesn't seem like it's blood, but it's not obviously blood. Maybe that might work. It's one of those things, like what you do is you create your next big thing to drop that is just going to be huge big. Let that sit for like 6 hours, something like that. Let it spread through the social medias, and then you drop the experimental one after that. So even if you get quote unquote shadow banned, the one right before it is going to carry you until you can do shit again. I mean, it's maybe, I don't know. It's just that social media, like the whole electronic stuff.
It's tricky.
It's tricky, but the thing is like it's now the necessary thing. I mean, it's like once upon a time, radio was the thing you had to do live music, because you had to go on radio to talk to people about music, and now that doesn't matter. Now it's all about being digital. It's part about the digital experience. And that's what, like, pandemics proved that's what's going to make it worthwhile going forward. So
people still do radio interviews. I just don't think that it's a priority anymore.
It's, I mean, so it's like radio's good for the people who's going to catch radio's good for people who obviously do not know who you are. That's like the best person to catch somebody new. Like, all right, cool. Here's a cool, weird thing. Oh, who is this? I don't know. Like things like digital and stuff like that is so fine-tuned and honed. Like people who are watching now are people who know you, who either already know you, or it's people who are at least know your brand or literally or a little bit of my brand. So it's all laser focused. Radio is a lot more of a here's out in the world. Let's see what happens. Like going like the Tonight Show. It's like, all right, cool. We're gonna go out in the world and see what happens. But
yeah. I want to do that.
That would be cool. Don't get me wrong. I would love to do that. Like my other show I do here on the network, The Devil's Hour, I model after late night talk shows. So, that I would love to go on it. Do that legit and live again, because that's how you started with, was doing it live on stage where I'd bring different acts and I'd interview them just like a late night talk show.
If you were to do a late night talk show, what would you bring?
As far as, what do you mean? Why would it make it worthwhile for me? What would I bring different?
No. What would you perform?
Oh, like if I was just a guest segment?
Yes.
Probably the thing I'm most known for, at least the first step, is the fact is I tell a story. I actually tell a very touching story about how I came into being in this business. That involved like death of my late wife and how I did stuff. But as I tell the story, I'm attaching mouse traps all over my body and face to help illustrate, like, basically punctuation points. Here's a big thing that happened. Here's a big thing that happened. And it ends with me basically going, doing a cheers with everybody, mousetrap on tongue, taking a drink. That would at least be the first one. Because I figured,
how do you swallow a drink with a mousetrap on your tongue?
Do you want to see it?
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna do something cooler. Like, this is how it's gonna work, because I'm a whore for this sort of stuff, but I also want to make sure people do so. I actually have a thing. So on my little Twitch channel, I actually have a robot that talks, and so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have them put the request out. It helps if I type it correctly. Because when I used to do this at bars. In fact, I did bars this week, where I would do shots with mousetraps, but people would buy me drinks all night. That's how it works. Part of my bar tricks. So I literally just put a thing saying, if people want to Venmo me, I will do the sideshow shot, which involves a mousetrap. Because if I'm going to do it, I'm going to get paid for it, right?
That's right. But you did that too for the Coney Island live stream, right?
I did. I applied mousetraps all over my face during that, but I was just doing, like, that's just, I do that in general. But like if I went on the late night talk show, I'd actually do the thing where I tell the story. Like, this is also the routine I did for the Hoot, for the Southern Touch of Hootenanny before the pandemic. That's how I got onto that. Is really what it was. My mission to kind of do stuff and more stuff, and now, as with the pandemic happened, I started doing stuff online to talk to people about all sorts of stuff, because I hate being alone, and the whole things of abandonment and all that stuff, like the Miss Cherry Delight character.
Yeah.
I kind of went and did stuff online, less to be. It's not so much me to go, hey, look at me. It's more like, hey, I'm not alone. Even I can pretend for a minute, and so that's how it started. But it also gives me opportunity to talk to people and be stuff. Like, I kind of knew Keita before, but I didn't get to know her well until I did this stuff. And so I went, and then going up to New York and meeting you, getting a chance to meet you and all these other people, just stumbling my way into these weird friendships and weirdo-ness. So, cheers.
Cheers. What other sideshow stuff do you do?
So I also do some magic, but I like to integrate sideshow into my magic, which a lot of people think it's weird. Sideshow purists do not care for it because they think it diminishes the stunt, which I disagree. That's my opinion. But also, how I do the trick and / stunt does not change what it is. So, like, things where I do a card trick that involves I do a card trick instead of cards, I use mouse traps, that sort of stuff. So the danger is really real. I mean, I still get hurt and stuff like that, but if I do it correctly, I won't. But I could also get it wrong. Either way, the audience is entertained. I also do things like I eat glass. Mostly, I just talk. I just talk to people, and I get them to buy stuff at the bar, because I work at, usually most of the shows are at bars. Usually, I just talk, and then I go, great, go to the bar. You got shots for 2 for $10, 1 for you, 1 for me. Go ahead and grab us shots. Never fails. I get lots of drinks. So mostly I'm just a talker.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're a very strong talker and hell of a performer. I know that I was thinking recently, because you just saw Todd.
I did.
I was thinking about him. Yeah. Huh?
Which Todd?
Todd Robbins.
Okay, let's make it confirming. Hot Todd and Todd. Let's make it that easy.
Yes. I think that I really want to get a tattoo commemorating my time doing Play Dead with Todd Robbins.
Should.
Of the shattered light bulb skull.
Ooh, that'd be good.
And I'm thinking about doing that and having Todd sign it. Just having that be a part of me forever, because Todd's kind of like a dad to me in like this kind of, well, dad, but also like dad/mentor.
It's a lot of people are that way. It's when I had him on the show initially, that's how I met him, was this way. I brought him on the show, like, and then we just became friends and stuff like that. So yeah, like I feel very much the same way with you.
I have a bunch of like unofficial parent/mentors. I feel very lucky, but I would say that Todd is like probably the main one, probably the all-encompassing one. It was I've performed in Las Vegas with Todd Robbins. I've performed over 150, 180, 200 shows with Todd Robbins doing Play Dead in New York City. That was, and working with Teller and Todd, and working one-on-one with Johnny Thompson was amazing. It's funny because like when people go to show me magic, I just have to be very real with them. And I have to say, listen, I have worked with the greatest magicians in the world.
That's fair.
So if I am not like, I don't know what you're gonna do, but if I'm not flabbergasted right away, it does not mean that you're a bad magician. I have worked with Johnny Thompson and Teller and Todd Robbins and all these people. I know Bizarro very well, who is a consultant for David Copperfield, and I know Matt Holtzclaw, who's a consultant for Teller, and I know Teller. So
it's
just
fair.
let you know, I have high magic standards.
No, it's fair. I love magic in general, and usually I'll go to places like my favorite thing is to go to magic shops and ask the guy what's his favorite trick, and then see what they do. And so
that's a good one too.
Because I always like that, because that's the thing they're most passionate about. So regardless of how it goes, I always enjoy it. 9 times out of 10, I usually buy the trick, because if they're passionate about it, I'll buy it. I do have the Harry Anderson voodoo needle.
Mm.
Do you know that one? You know Harry Anderson, right? Okay. Oh, he's most famous for being the judge on Night Court. But before then, he did. Yeah, but he
hold on, my partner Bear's watching, so I'm doing this with him. Okay, that was just for him.
No, but literally, but like before he started doing that, he would like be like he was like literally like the con man bar magician sort of guy, and so it's all about the hustle. And so he actually did a thing that involves a huge needle like this big. It's locked away in my trunk. Otherwise, bring it out, and he would put it through his arm, and then bring it out. Of course, it's real.
It's not real.
I don't know what you're talking about. It's all real, but no.
I think of but when it comes to needle things, like I know Zamora and like a lot of the pain-proof people too. So it's like you can't do trick needles like that. What about all the awesome pain-proof? I have blood from Zamora actually, who he stuck this through his. I can't. It's on my wall by my altar, but I have.
No, it's fine. No, I've seen Zamora do a lot of his stuff. So yeah, I've seen him. I've seen him live twice. But yeah, no, like. But the fact is, like, a lot of stuff I learned how to do was like these weird like bar trick magic sort of stuff, and so it's more about the ha 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 fooled you magic versus a legit thing. But Harry Anderson was always a big hero of mine for that sort of stuff. And uh, Todd Robbins does a lot of like that weird bar magic stuff because he has this book, The Modern Con Man, which talks about all these weird like bar magic tricks.
Yes, I love that one.
So, but anyway, yeah, like magicians, yes. But I love magicians. I know quite a few as well. Not quite as big names as you do, apparently, but still cool. But no, yeah, no. Todd Robbins. I get some of these. So, they're showing Play Dead in October at in like some magic convention in Baltimore.
Oh yeah, how can it be on that screen?
And I think Todd and Keller are going to be least there digitally do a Q&A.
Oh, nice. Digital Q&A. It is always, it's funny having worked so closely with Teller. I don't know. Teller and I really clicked doing that show. And I think every time that I ever shared a meal with Teller, he insisted that we share off of the same plate. He's very sweet.
He seems really nice. I mean, like when like the non-stage self, when everybody goes, "What he talks?" Yeah, he talks. He just doesn't talk on stage. He's very verbose otherwise.
Of course he talks.
Yeah, he's like when he's not verbose. He's very verbose when he's not being Teller. But no, it's good. Yes, Sally, I'll send you the details as far as the convention because I know you don't live far from that. It's like I'm thinking about it sort of going to because I thought it'd be kind of cool because there's a lot of really cool magicians going to be at that thing too. Anyway, back to this. Somebody actually tipped for the sideshow shot, and I have enough on here to do this proper. So all right. So when I do a sideshow shot, so it is a mousetrap. It is a live mousetrap. It's legit. It's real. I don't do no stunt editing, no stunt stuff. My camera's not here. It's up here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the mousetrap on my tongue. Then I'm gonna finish my glass. All right. We down? Everybody down in the chat? Yes. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Let's count it down. 3, 2, 1.
Whoa! You did it! Mm-hmm. Hey!
Apparently nobody else does that, which I find weird.
I have not seen anyone else do that, except for you.
It's cool. I don't mind anybody else does it. That's fine. Just say, hey, this is the weird way to get drunk. That's dumb. Jeff the G started it, so that's fair. That's all I wanted.
I've seen Todd drink candles at bars. I've seen him do all kinds of things.
I actually did that with him, the Monday before I left, I had dinner with Todd. We met up and had dinner at one of his favorite spots around the corner from his house. Beautiful, beautiful old Irish bar. So we're just having a nice time chatting, and I'm wearing my jacket. I'm always prepared. I've got mouse traps, a light bulb, and a deck of cards. I'm always ready to go. And like the bartender's being really nice. They gave us a free drink while we're doing stuff, and I went, "Oh, hey, because you got me this free thing, let me do something for you because that's trick or treat. I don't have a treat. You give me a treat, I'll give you a trick." And so I did the mousetrap thing. And so he goes, "I've never seen that before." The bartender, and Todd didn't say anything, but I figured maybe he did. He either did it, needed to, but he then did blockhead next to me. So it was kind of cool to watch as we both did tricks for the bartender, just me and him with like the bartender and like a busboy as our only audience.
You made their night.
Yeah, so I thought it was fun. So yeah, that's one of my mousetrap tricks.
I love it. Thanks for sharing that.
When I started getting into sideshow, I wanted to do stuff that did not involve pain. What was I thinking? I know, legit. When I first started doing
this, that's impossible.
Well, actually, there are ways because sideshows are very weird. There's different things you can do in sideshow that do not involve pain. That is true. Like initially, when I wanted to do things, I figured out I wanted to get in. I wanted to do magic and mentalism because I learned a really cool trick from the amazing AJ, and he not only taught.
AJ.
I know, right? He taught me a really cool
Oh,
little card.
I love
Yeah,
him.
he taught me a really cool little card trick, and he sat with me for like an extra half hour, and we talked about how to make it bigger. And I always find it very special because I watched him talk with other people coming up to, buy his wares, talk about his book, and he'd maybe talk 10, 15 minutes with them tops. And literally, it was almost an hour we talked. It was crazy, like from me walking up till I left, it was like an hour. So I always found that really, really special. And so I learned how to do that bigger. And so anytime I do, also when I do that trick, I also go, here, this is where I learned it from. This is from AJ, the original Ronald McDonald, Carney Trash. And I go into the spiel before I go, and this is what we do. That's right. That's not my glass of water because I don't have any whiskey on me at the moment. Uh, but yeah, so that's what I started doing initially, and then we were doing a photo shoot for my sideshow group, the Trash Fire Sideshow, that you can actually see one
Trash
of our
Fire.
buttons. Trash Fire, yeah.
Oh, Trash Fire. Trash Fire Sideshow. That's a nice, solid name,
isn't it? No. Yeah, and like our button, because Patrick saw me up there at the Freak Bar, and he liked the button so much because that's a really cool name, and so it's on the wall there at the Coney Island Freak Bar.
Oh, yay.
So yeah, and I don't know where I was going. But yeah, when I first started doing it, I was just going to be the guy who's going to host and talk because that's the one thing I know I could do fresh into the business. I go, can't do a lot of tricks, but I know I can talk. And so, and then after a while, well, I need to do something. And so I figured magic and mentalism would be the least dangerous. And then a photo shoot, I learned how to take a mousetrap. And then from there, there's still some shit I won't do, but I'm not going to do the needle or anything like that. Well, I might. I don't know. Maybe.
Todd taught me how to eat fire. I eat fire. I haven't eaten fire for a long time.
I'm not. I don't like being hot, and so I'm just not down for that. Just like the idea of having flame near me, I just go, ugh. I just want to like take a cold shower.
It's pretty encouraging, I will say. And yeah. Like when it comes to like fire is, I mean, I'm not a sideshow performer anymore necessarily, but I'm sure that my fire eating will come in handy with my shock rock antics.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. All right. So Keita, am I wearing a Miss Cherry Delight lyric on my hat? If I am, it's not intentionally. It's sinners are winners.
Get on your knees. What's done is done. Sinners are winners, so you won.
It's actually from Black Cult is where I got the hat from. But it's fair. But I also thought it was a nice, appropriate hat to wear for today with such a person who kind of I get and who kind of gets me in a weird sort of way. So yeah.
Fun fact that shirt and that hat actually was what inspired the lyric.
That's fair.
Sinners are winners. So yeah, the line is in Confess is get on your knees. What's done is done. Sinners are winners. So you won.
I did say it's my favorite song off of that first record. So
no one ever says Confess. So I'm just like flabbergasted and so delighted that one is.
It's like one of like literally because it has such a weird shifts all throughout it, and the fact is you have that moment where a lot of stuff you have that good rock, you have the good rock star singing in it, and then you got some of the screamo in it, but you also have that nice. You went to that nice kind of that pure, almost little vibrato voice in it. That's in nothing else in that record, and so I really like it a lot because it's like I mean, like some of the other stuff is fun. Like #Bless is like fun as shit, and like other stuff, and so it's like a lot of records really good. I just that song stood out the most because it was the most different in the best possible way, because it's just you're doing some stuff in that was a little bit different from what everything else was, which I liked. So that's why I said I go like that little.
I always forget about that song, so thank you for reminding me that one was a bop.
I really dig it. I mean, I can't, but I'm also the guy who doesn't like. I mean, I like hits. Don't get me wrong, but I like buying the record and like really getting into the not hits and getting into the meats of the other songs. So I really enjoy it. And what are you doing, dog? Sorry, the dog. You can probably see my camera shift a little bit. That's because the dog is my dog. Shinobi.
Show me that dog.
All right. Give me a second, because this is going to get weird. So that's my dog.
Doggy.
Shinobi. Shinobi. See, his name is Shinobi. He's a Siberian Husky. He's a pretty cool dog. The problem is, it's just that he likes to sleep where I'm talking. So, and like literally, he's butting up against the tripod as I'm trying to do something. So I'm watching the camera go do. Let's go.
What is that name from, Shinobi?
It's Japanese. There was a video game in the like 80s, 90s called Shinobi. It's about ninjas. Shinobi is actually what the real term, like in Japan, that is the term for a ninja. But that's what they call them, the people. Ninjutsu is what they learn. But yeah, it's he's a rescue of a rescue.
Oh, wow.
I had some friends who rescued him because they want to do we don't have kids, so let's see if we can deal with kids by getting a dog. Like, that makes sense. Then they had a kid. Kid turned out to be allergic, so we had got the dog. And the reason why I even got the dog is because I had an Arctic breed, an Alaskan Malamute at the time. And so I understood how Arctic breeds work, at least in the fact is like keeping how to deal with them, especially with all the hair and stuff. And yeah. So yeah, he's a rescue of a rescue.
Shinobi.
Yeah.
Before you mentioned AJ, and I remember I was in a diner with AJ and Todd, and we had some server who was like a total bimbo lady, like total like bimbo. And AJ was like, "Can I get some new forks and knives, because these just don't work?" And he took them and he ripped them apart in his hands, and he he took the silverware and then just like, and she didn't understand what just happened. She was like, "Sure, I can bring you back some forks." And he's just like, "All right." He was so mad because he just did this very big, obvious trick, and it went right over her head, and he did it right in her face. And he was like, he was so mad. He's like, "Are you serious? I just did this in front of you. Do you see what just happened? Get out of here." I'll never forget that.
Just like,
I'll just never forget the disappointment on his face. He's just like,
it's oh man, she could just be like, another asshole doing weird dumb shit. I'm just tired of it, whatever it is. Because, well, not that specific trick. Obviously, old school diner waitress. Because I've seen it all. I don't give a fuck anymore. Sort of opinion. That's hysterical. That is funnier. Like I would have been dying and laughing so hard watching that, because that would have been far more impressive. That's far more impressive to me, her giving no response than him doing the trick.
her brain was full of butterflies.
Oh, but her non-reaction is far more impressive than probably whatever you saw.
That would have been pretty funny.
Yeah, that would have went. Now, all right, we only have a few minutes left, which I appreciate you being a part of the show. It's so much fun. What? Yes.
I should also mention, today I just dropped a track with the FMs, which are an amazing rock band that I perform a lot with. We just covered The Time Warp. And it's on YouTube. And it's so good. and I am Columbia in it, and it's so much fun. We released it for Pride.
That's very cool. We're gonna keep chatting. I'm gonna track it down. I'm gonna try to put the link in the chat. So give me a second.
Yes, please. So if you type in the FM's Time Warp, Time Warp for Chosen Family Law Center. It's a fundraiser. And we collaborated with them for Pride. And we recorded this in December. And we put together a video. I went up to Ithaca and I helped film them. And I did the makeup for it, and we filmed almost all of it on my phone. And the video celebrates and raises awareness about the beauty of family in all its forms for support. CF, Chosen Family Law Center's nonprofit legal services work for alphabet mafia, polyamorous, platonic, non-nuclear families, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, we did the Time Warp, and it rocks, and it's a fundraiser. But also I got to be Columbia, and it's very exciting because we nailed this. I'm very excited.
There we go. I put the link in the chat, so everybody check that out. I'll be watching it later because we're talking right now, so being offensive, and I don't want to spend because to try to set up both Zoom and the Twitch watching for us both to watch at the same time, it's really hard. I don't know how to do it, so I don't try to do that anymore. We're trying to go, all right, cool, you're on the show. I'm not showing anything you're doing because it's just a pain in the ass.
No. People can watch it later, but
yeah,
but I am very excited to share because when I did Rocky Horror before, as the actual musical, I was Riff Raff, and that was a ton of fun. But it was nice to be able to also do Columbia this time because my voice is pretty high, so I could hit those notes.
No, that makes sense. Especially because you're doing like classic Columbia versus like the Joan Jett Columbia, correct? Is that correct? Or
yeah,
are you trying to do more Joan?
I did see Joan Jett do Columbia in person when I saw Rocky Horror show live on Broadway. And my riffraff is very much the Raul Esparza riffraff.
Okay.
With a lot of his, because Richard O'Brien does your lifestyle's to it. He goes, I'm your new commander. And then Raul goes, I'm your new commander. And you now are my prisoner. We return to Transylvania. Prepare the transit beam. But that was a lot of fun to do. I mean, Rocky Horror changed my life when I was 14. I saw it. So many things along the way made this. Like you said in the beginning, we have lots of different influences. And it was nice to revisit this influence by doing the Time Warp. A totally, our version of the Time Warp with the FMs.
Alrighty, so we're just about out of time. Make sure this is Miss Cherry Delight. Follow her on all the social medias because she's on all of them as Miss Cherry Delight. So that makes it easy.
Fangoria tomorrow.
I know. I totally am. It's like literally, I'm gonna get up in the morning and I'm gonna the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna log on to Fangoria and watch the video and then rewatch the video and then I gotta go to work and then I'll probably watch it again once I get home. So everybody do that as well. Make this the most watched video of all time on the Fangoria website.
Really
so that way.
So this is the perfect place to put it.
Yeah.
I can't put this video on TikTok. It's there's way too much blood and it looks like found footage, like crime scene found footage. It's really gross. So I'm very excited that Fangoria picked it up.
That's good. I completely look forward to it. And when it becomes non-exclusive, I'll throw up my stuff. I'm gonna let Fangoria have their fun because they obviously have a more bigger audience than I do, so I'm gonna let that happen. But thank you so much, Cherry, for being part of the show. Yeah, so we're gonna tune out here. I got other stuff happening on the channel for everybody. We're gonna chat afterwards. Everybody knows who I am. If you want to chat with us, drop me a line separately, not in the chat, and maybe we'll get some people and we'll chat for a bit. So everybody, be safe, be cool, be groovy, and as always, keep drinking.